Hello and welcome to the Belgian Grand Prix here at the legendary Spa-Francorchamps circuit in Belgium. It is absolutely hammering it down, and it will hammer it down for the entirety of the race. Now, what I didn't realise from the last race was that Jaguar have already won the constructors title, which I was bemused about, but we are under starting order and we are going to be racing eventually. There we are racing here in Belgium, and it's a good start for Fisichella. Bertie gets to the inside, Salo dives it down the inside of the source, but it is Bertie that's going to be in the lead. Patnis is behind Salo as we have a replay of Coulthard, who saw him being pinched a little bit on the inside. Did anything happen? Oh, he's got a little bit of airborne, and it was a bit of a tight squeeze. De La Rosa looks to have lost quite a few positions, down to 7th it looks like. And we go on board with Bertie to go down a Camel Straight. We've already gone through Eau Rouge towards the chicane of Le Camp. And there is the chicane. Fisichella trying to go around the outside of Bertie as they go out of the chicane. It is Linus Stern, Bertie in the lead. Fisichella is in second as he goes down the inside. This is a very hard corner, this. It is off cambered, so they're all drawn over to the left, and they go round the turn with no name for the first time of 18 laps here, and they go around Pouan for the first time. It's heavy braking, especially in the wet, not being able to take it as fast as they like because of the wet driving. We have Diners in 10th, he's behind the two Minardis. Ferrari of Michael Schumacher currently in 11th, with the Williams of Montoya in 12th as they go round the chicane. Hill for 13th, with Heitfeld in 14th. The Ferrari of Barrichello is in 15th currently as they go round the double apex corner. Can't remember the name of this. Frenson is currently in 17th place in the Arrows, and there's Raikkonen in 18th. Schumacher in 19th. And Verstappen is currently last of the drivers. This is to go down the long back straight, and we're not going to be able to go around Blanchimont because we are back on board with Bertie as they go towards La Source. Fisichella has a little look, but Bertie keeps hold of the lead. Top 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th, 10th, all quite close. There's 11th, 12th, 13th. Barrichello diving down the inside of Heitfeld. 16th and 17th, Raikkonen, Schumacher and Verstappen are all quite close to each other at the start of the race, which is surprising because usually they are way behind each other. As we are on board with Bertie currently leading this race. It's a very wet race that we have in store for you today. Hopefully you lot are staying dry in the comforts of your living room, maybe, I don't know. But we're on board with Fisichella, currently in second place, tracing down after Bertie. I'm trying to find the current standings of the drivers because this is the last but one race. We have one race left after this, and I want to know how close everyone is. That's the wrong one. As we're on board with Olivier Panis in the BAR, currently in fourth place, sorry, not second. This is 5th place. Alonso currently in 5th place. As there we are. No, we've got to go to France. It was a very good French Grand Prix. Lots of surprising results in the French Grand Prix, wasn't there? Anyway, so currently De La Rosa is leading the championship by 15 points over Panis and 16 points over Bertie. They're the only two drivers that can catch each other. The 3 drivers that can only catch each other. De La Rosa already needs I don't know, he's got 5, so probably only needs a 6th place to win the title over Panis. I don't know who's got the most amount of wins, but it's either 5th or 6th. We'll call it 5th. From Bertie, it's definitely 6th, especially if Bertie wins today. And as stated earlier, Jaguar had already won the constructors title. They have an unassailable lead over Toyota, currently leading by 53 points with 38 remaining. So congratulations to Jaguar for winning their 2nd consecutive title, as we're on board with Bertie, with Fisichella bearing down his neck to go round Pouon for the 3rd time, and towards the chicane they all go. Well, most of them go. Not all of them are going, because we are currently with the leader, not where everyone else is. So, this season coming to an end. Next race in the home of Formula 1, Silverstone, where the first championship race was held back in 1950. As we are on board with Fisichella as they go around Blanchimont, round towards the bus stop chicane. Fisichella's not going to have a look there, surely. Then the right left down towards the start finish straight, which is not much of a straight, it's a bit of a curve towards La Source for the 4th time of 18 laps. They're currently doing 2-minute laps in this wet Grand Prix, meaning that they're probably going to be driving for about 36 to 37 minutes of pure action, as they all seem to have spread themselves out a little bit. Panis currently in 4th place, Sarlo in 3rd. Sarlo can catch Fisichella, but Fisichella's currently in 2nd, so I don't think that is going to happen. The top looks like 7 top 7 in the standings all have a significant gap towards the rest of the field. The top 7 is currently the 7 cars that are currently the top 7 on track of De La Rosa, Panis, Bertie, Coulthard's in 6th. Coulthard, Fisichella, Sarlo and Alonso. There's a gap of 36 points between them, but there's a gap of 30 between Alonso in 7th and Hill, who is in 8th place, who has gone into that McLaren car, has done rather well. But then it's a 5-point gap between Hill, Schumacher, Diniz, Frentzen and Barrichello, all between 30 and 25 points, so there's quite a lot of action to be done there. And then there's another 13-point gap between Verstappen and the 2 Minardis, all on equal 12 points. And then we have the Minardi. Then we already talked about the Minardis. We have Schumacher, 8 points. There is De La Rosa in 7th. They've all building up a little bit of a lead over Takagi. He's in 8th. Currently, this would do the Minardis really good if they manage to get a few points over the Arrows team. And then we have Button in 17th with 5 points, and then Nick Heidfeld 18th, Montoya 19th and Raikkonen in 20th place for the Sauber team. And we're on board with the Minardi of Takagi, and there's the other Minardi of Alex Young with Diniz right behind. He's got a little bit of a train, has Young, holding everyone up a treat as Diniz has a little look down the inside, but there is no passing there. as we go on board with the Ferrari of Barrichello. All of these are sort of elongated out as well, as we are currently on board with the Ferrari of Schumacher. Now we're on board with Diniz. Little look down the inside of Young. Young holding all these people up behind him, helping Takagi out a little bit, get a lead as they go down towards, this is turn 8. We've got Montoya now, 12th place. He's got a second gap to catch over Schumacher, but he's a second ahead of the guy behind him, which is Damon Hill. As Hill goes down the hill towards Pouin, which is another downhill corner for Hill to negotiate. Around the corner they go, downhill. Barrichello is currently in 14th place in the Ferrari. 15th place is currently Button. He has quite a huge gap towards the Saubers behind. There's currently 5 seconds. It's Nick Heidfeld in 16th. He's holding up Frentzen, it looks like, in the arrows, with Raikkonen hassling them right behind him. It might be Ralf Schumacher holding up Frentzen. There's Ralf Schumacher 3 seconds behind these three. Raikkonen looking left, looking right, as we are on board with Fisichella as he goes into the pits for the first time this race. We've got a first pit stopper. There's Toyota, BAR, Minardi and Ferrari all getting ready for pits. Presume next lap they're going to be ready for the pits. Out goes Fisichella. 8.4 second stop for the Renault. Around the first corner they go. He is directly behind Della Rosa. That is rather interesting. That doesn't bode well for any of the one stoppers, because the two stoppers are quite close to him already. It's going to be rather interesting to see who takes advantage of that, as Nick Heidfeld pits from 18th. That releases a few of the cars. Schumacher pits from 17th. He's going to be behind these lot. He's going to get held up a little bit by the looks of it. Verstappen is in 18th. He's been released by the Williams. There is Heidfeld in 19th. Coming out of the pits is the German. And there is Schumacher in 20th. They've done their job. They've held people up. They're now along their way towards civilization, pretty much, as we're on board with Luciano Berti currently leading now by 6 seconds. Now Fisichella has pitted from second place. We're on board with Salo, second place for the Toyota. He looks to be pitting at the end of this lap. They're all those pitted on lap 5. These are pitting on lap 6. We've got Panis in the BAR in third place currently, as we look behind him to see Alonso in 4th place in the other Toyota. The Toyota done heaps better than they did last season. Gone from languishing down in 4th place to being title contenders until the final 2 races, as we are Salo pitting now from 2nd place. This ever increases the lead that Bertie has. There goes Panis and there goes Alonso, both of them not pitting for another lap, as we have a look at Salo being serviced. There's Della Rosa. Fisichella's already caught up to the back of Della Rosa. There goes Takagi. Is Salo going to come out ahead of Takagi? The answer is yes. Yes, he is. So the top 7 is as you were, pretty much. No chance of everyone being held up by the Minardi of Takagi or the Minardi of Young. As we are on board now with David Coulthard in the McLaren. And there's Alonso in 3rd place. He is ending into the pits at the end of this lap. The BAR of Panis as well, we believe, is heading into the pits at the end of this lap as well. This is how long as the BP tanks that they have installed in the car will last. Down towards the chicane goes Bertie, one stopping Jaguar the Bertie car is. Schumacher in 20th, he is, as we know, 2 stopping. There is Heitfeld, 19th place currently. He is kind of catching Verstappen in 18th, who is quite a distance away from these lots now. There is Raikkonen in 16th. He's getting ready to go into the pits. Frentzen is in 15th. He's catching up to Diniz and Young, but I think that these two have already pitted for their first stops. So the one stop has definitely not worked out for a lot of the one stoppers. 2 stopping looks like was the right decision. It's a long track, so the fuel effect is going to be quite high for the one stoppers. As predicted, Panis and Alonso both pitting. There goes Takagi, he's going into the pits for the first time these lot are. Out goes Alonso in front of Takagi, and there is Takagi going into the pits. He's now being serviced by the Minardi team, and away he goes down towards the pits. Barrichello is in the pits now, Button behind him. There's Montoya going out of the pits, and there's Raikkonen going into the pits behind them. Out goes Button, in goes Raikkonen. He's got a change of tyres, and away he goes. Is he going to end up in front of his teammate Heifeld? And the answer is yes. He's ahead of Heifeld still. Actually, no, he was behind Heifeld, wasn't he? So he's gained a position over Heifeld there for going longer. Bertie currently leading by 14.6 seconds. He is 1 stopping, just like Coulthard is 1 stopping. Here is Coulthard. He's got De La Rosa for company behind him, who is currently in 3rd place. Currently in a title winning position is De La Rosa in the Jaguar in 3rd place. Here he is with Fisichella directly behind in the Renault. Is he going to be looking down the inside of De La Rosa? He's looking at the outside, but there's nothing doing there. He's going to have to stay patient and hope De La Rosa makes some sort of mistake. As we go towards the 9th lap down to La Source for the 9th time. Fisichella having a little look down around the outside of De La Rosa, but he's had a poor accident as they go downhill towards Eau Rouge, the most famous corner on the circuit. Of course, it's in the wet, so they are quite slow going up the hill, as it's pretty much a river there. Down towards the calm chicane as they go exit the Camel Straight. Round the 7-kilometre circuit they go for the 9th time in the pouring rain. We haven't seen rain like this since 1998. As we are staying on board with Fisichella, going round this beautiful circuit. Round the corner with no name, De La Rosa is still in 3rd place. Panis, we're on board with now 5th place for the BAR. He has quite the sizable lead over Sarlo in 6th. But they are pretty much nowhere. There's Alonso in 7th. And Takagi, 15 seconds the gap is now between the top 8. And there is Hill currently directly in front, behind Takagi. I apologise. There is Montoya in 10th place. The final points position. The ever so coveted final points position for these cars. There is the Renault of Fisichella. Is he going to have a look at De La Rosa. This time around, no, he isn't. De La Rosa is keeping hold of third place. It's a very hard overtaking circuit, this is. As appears to be most of these circuits. The drivers are not wanting to overtake or take any silly risks. And they can't get anywhere near each other when they go down the Camel Straight. The slipstream is not working for any of these cars. As we stay on board with De La Rosa as he goes up Eau Rouge, down the Camel Straight towards Lecom. Is he going to get anywhere close to Coulthard? No, he isn't. There's to go around the Lecom chicane. And they are all 17 seconds behind this man, who is currently dominating this race. He took the lead from on the first corner, and he has just never looked back. Has Bertie in the Jaguar round the chicane in towards the double right-hander as we go on board with Young. He's directly behind Montoya and Diniz. Diniz is directly in front of Young. There's Diniz in the BAR. All of these battling for the final point that currently Montoya is occupying in the Williams. And there we are about to go on board with Bertie, who is going into the pits. Bertie making his one and only pit stop in this race. The Arrow is also looking ready to service someone, and it looks like McLaren as well, also looking to service someone on this lap. 8.5 for Bertie. He's easily going to come out ahead of Coulthard, so he has nothing to worry about except himself. Easily ahead of the rest of the field is Bertie. Take a bow, son. There is De La Rosa, up Eau Rouge. And he's just dominated this race currently, and he could win by at least 30 seconds if he could. The board with Fisichella, 4th place currently for the Renault. Down towards chicane. In the pouring rain of Spa-Francorchamps. Pan is currently in 5th place in the BAR. And whilst things have calmed down significantly, let's have a look at a few stats as we go on board with Frentzen in 16th place. He's going into the pits for his one and only pit stop of the race. Out he goes. And down towards the Eau Rouge corner. He is kept hold of 16th, but he's quite the distance away from these two of Schumacher and Button. They might stay ahead. There's Barrichello. He's also probably going to stay ahead, and Hill. 12th place is Hill. Young in 11th. In the Minardi, Diniz 10th. All these are pitting. 1.1 9th place. He's pitting by looks of quite some time ago. Takagi is in the middle of nowhere, as per usual, but not in last like he usually is. He is actually in 8th place, and we are on board with Panis as Fisichella comes in from 4th. De La Rosa comes in from 3rd. Coulthard comes in from 2nd. De La Rosa's in for his one and only stop. These two are in for their second stops. Now, this is going to be rather interesting. Is Coulthard going to come out ahead of Pedro? Coulthard's coming out now, and De La Rosa has jumped Coulthard in the pits. What a stop from the Jaguar boys. They are ahead of Coulthard. That is rather remarkable. We are now witnessing De La Rosa in 5th place, which is enough to win the title for De La Rosa for the 2nd season running. will the Spaniard win the constructors title? Down through the Lacombe chicane, round into towards a corner I can't remember the name of. This is the corner with no name, down towards Poor, and there is Olivier Panis, second place. He is doing everything he can, but he's probably not going to win this. That's going to probably be Bertie. Obviously he's currently 8 seconds ahead of the rest of the field as he goes towards Blanchimont. Yeah, he goes towards Blanchimont and in toward the bus stop chicane for the 12th time. Out of the double right left right chicane, left right left chicane, down towards Le Source for the 13th time. Bertie currently leads in the Jaguar. He has a lead of 8 seconds over Panis, who is yet to make his second pit stop of the afternoon. Third place is Sarlo, but he's going into the pits, so that puts Alonso currently in third place. Sarlo is behind now of De La Rosa, Coulthard and Fisichella, who qualified on pole. Fisichella did, but he's not going to finish in the podium now. It looks like the Arrows is getting ready as well for what can only be presumed Verstappen, who has yet to pit. Takagi is currently 45 seconds behind the race leader, as we are on board with the Renault of Fisichella, who's currently in 6th place, not being able to pass the McLaren as they go around Les Combes. And down towards turn 10 of the circuit, the off-cambered right-hander, round the corner with no name, as the famous corner has no name. Here is Pouan on board with Alonso in the Toyota. Round Pouan he goes. There is Panis going towards the Stavolo double right-hander, as I now know what the corner is for that corner. We're on board now with Dennis. He's currently in 13th place for the BAR. He has made both his pit stops as he goes around the off-cambered corner. Button in 12th place. He needs to make a pit stop. He's probably going to make a pit stop at the end of this lap. There's Barrichello, 11th. He's got to make a pit stop as well. Hill, on the other hand, as we go on board now with Alonso in the Toyota. He's making his pit stop now for the second and final time of this Grand Prix, we think. There's Panis coming out of the pits. That most likely puts De La Rosa to a points position. No, not points position. Into a podium position. Possibly second place. But then Pedro De La Rosa was just streaked away from these two of Coulthard and Fisichella. You can tell he was being held up by them, because De La Rosa is nowhere to be seen as Diniz is in the gravel trap. He looks to have spun out of this race. Has the BAR, as there is Verstappen. That is the chicane at the bottom of the circuit, it looks like. The chicane that Bertie is about to come towards. Panis currently in second place. It's going to most likely be a 1-2 finish now for the Jaguar. It's going to wrap up. They've already wrapped up the team's title. They're going to wrap up the driver's title now. The French Grand Prix helping Pedro De La Rosa wrap up that title with Bertie, Coulthard, Fisichella and the one Toyota not finishing. he managed to get that 10 points for winning, and is just streaked ahead of the rest of the field. And now with him currently being in third place, which will be promoted to second when Panis makes his pit stop, he could easily just cruise to second place and winning the driver's title. As we're on board with Fisichella, round Blanchimont towards the bus stop chicane. He's not going to be able to pass Coulthard that time. Coulthard certainly looks really slow compared to Fisichella, but Fisichella, no way of overtaking currently round this circuit as they go towards La Sauce for the 15th time this race. There is 4 laps to go, including this one, for the drivers to negotiate. Fisichella in the Renault up Rouge took a little bit of a wide line. He's got a very good exit. Is he going to look down the inside of Coulthard? He's not quick enough. Is he going to outbrake Coulthard towards Lecombe? Is Fisichella going to go around the outside? He's going to keep hold, but no. Coulthard keeps hold of 4th place. Is Fisichella going to send one down the inside to turn 10? He is. Is he going to keep hold? Is he going to gain the position from Coulthard? Yes, he is. Fisichella gains 4th place from David Coulthard. It's the first overtake we have witnessed on this circuit. What a move from Fisichella towards Bouin. That's going to please the Italian in the Renault. And we are on board with Kimi Räikkönen into the pits for the second and final time. And away he goes now. 8.6. He is 16th. He's going to remain 16th. Verstappen is not going to be able to overtake him. He's 19 seconds behind Frentzen. Here is Frentzen, 15th place. 4 seconds behind Button in 14th place, who hasn't got to make a pit stop now. There is Schumacher, 13th, with Young in front, holding up Schumacher, it looks like. So it looks like the Ferraris aren't going to score. Neither is Young, so it looks like Montoya is going to score a 10th place finish for the Williams, which will certainly please the manager. 10th place. 9th place currently Damon Hill. He is 8 seconds behind Takagi, who's a full 30 seconds behind Alonso, who has already started his 16th lap. Up towards Eau Rouge and Radion. Down the Camel Straight goes Mika Salo. There's David Coulthard in the McLaren towards the Le Combe chicane. And when I said that Coulthard was pitted twice, I think I said Coulthard pitted twice, didn't I? He didn't. He pitted once, like De La Rosa did. Both of them pitted on the same lap. One advantaged it over the other. And there's De La Rosa, 3rd place. Panis directly in front of him. Panis has actually made his pit stop and come out in front of De La Rosa, so it's not going to be a 1-2 finish for the Jaguar team, which I don't think will concern De La Rosa at all, as Bertie comes towards lapping Heidfeld in the Sauber. Is Heidfeld going to cooperate with the Brazilian? He's coming towards the bus stop chicane, and Heidfeld has not gotten out of the way of Bertie. He's going to have to go through the second chicane. It's going to have held up Bertie a little bit, but nothing troubling the Brazilian there, as he has a 13.2 second lead over Panis. He has plenty of time as he comes towards Verstappen in the Arrows, the backmarker Arrows team, as we're on board with Button with Young still in front of him. Schumacher looks to have overtaken Young somewhere on the circuit as they go round Stavolo. And turn 15, Young 13th, he is now behind Schumacher. Couldn't hold Schumacher enough for the rest of the race. Round towards Blanchimont. There is Schumacher in 13th place, in 12th place, sorry, in the Ferrari. So it's the teammate directly in front of him, of Barrichello, in the Ferrari, with Montoya in 10th place. He is in the final points paying position, as we have the classification. Bertie starts his final lap of this 18-lap Grand Prix. He's currently about 14 seconds in front of Panis, I imagine. 14.0 seconds in front of Panis is Bertie. Coulthard is in 5th place currently. He will be a distance. Coulthard 5th, 28 seconds behind, with Salo in 6th, 32 seconds behind the leader currently. 35 seconds is Alonso. And then we have a huge gap as we're on board with De La Rosa. He's coming to lap Ralf Schumacher. There is Panis. There is Bertie. He's already dispatched of Verstappen. Now he's got Raikkonen to dispatch off as they go towards turn 11. Down towards turn 12 and 13 of Bouillon. The not flat out double corner because it's in the wet. Is Raikkonen going to cooperate? Bertie looking left, looking right. Now he's looking right and Raikkonen moves out of his way. There is Diniz, his car still in the gravel trap. They didn't think they needed to move it. As they go to that, he goes down towards Stavolo. Here is Panis. He's about to go past the same chicane that Bertie just went past. Panis now has Heidfeld to deal with. As we have Fisichella. Fisichella is currently in 3rd place. What happened to De La Rosa? This is the Cambridge corner and he's actually spun trying to lap Schumacher. This is the only mistake that De La Rosa has made all race, and he dropped it trying to pass Schumacher, and he got passed by Fisichella for 3rd place. So the Renault is going to get a podium at the end of all this, but that will not probably phase De La Rosa at all. As we go back on board with De La Rosa. De La Rosa in 4th place. Fisichella's now trying to pass Schumacher as they go around Stavolo. Is Schumacher going to hold up Fisichella at all? He's not doing himself any favours, and he's quickly dispatched off. De La Rosa is now behind Schumacher now, as Bertie wins the Belgian Grand Prix for the Jaguar team, but all eyes are on De La Rosa as he goes towards the bus stop chicane. Can he negotiate Ralf Schumacher? No trouble at all. As Fisichella goes into the pits, is he going to end up in 3rd place, Fisichella? He is. Fisichella ends up in 3rd place despite pitting, but Pedro De La Rosa wins the driver's title for the 2nd season in a row. Fisichella ends up in the pits, but he will be classified as 3rd place. Coulthard finishes in 5th place, with Salo in 6th and Alonso in 7th. So more points for the Toyota team. On board with Takagi now. He's going round Blanchimont. And there is Hill going around Blanchimont. He's in 9th place, is Hill. The one stop working for Hill. Montoya in 10th place. He's going to get a point for the Williams team. As we go back on board with Bertie. We didn't see him cross the line because we was too concentrating on other drivers. But he drove a spectacular race. Start to finish in the lead. He was not challenged at all. As soon as he got the lead in the first lap, he just drove away and he led every single lap. What a drive from the Jaguar person. He's going to inherit second place in the driver's title, probably on count back. I don't know who's won more, Bertie or Panis, but they've certainly won quite a lot. As he goes into the pits to park Ferme. There is Fisichella. Third place he finished. He's classified in third place. There is Bertie, and here is the classified results now. Luciano Bertie wins in the Jaguar. He finished 13.5 seconds ahead of Panis in second in the BAR. Third place, Giancarlo Fisichella, 24 seconds behind the race winner in the end. He held on from De La Rosa in fourth place in the Jaguar, but De La Rosa won't be phased about that. He wins the driver's title for the second season in a row. Congratulations to the Spaniard. Fifth place, David Coulthard in the McLaren. Sixth and seventh for the two Toyotas of Salo and Alonso. Alonso finishing 36 seconds behind the Jaguar of Bertie in the end. Top seven are the top seven in the Drivers' Championship, so not much changing happening there. Eighth, was Pedro Takagi in the Minardi. He'll be very pleased with that 8th place, especially with how the past two races have gone for him. Then we have ninth. There is Takagi's race times. 9th place, Damon Hill in the McLaren, with the final point being Montoya in 10th place. In 11th was Barrichello. He failed to score points, with Schumacher in 12th, who also failed to score points in the other Ferrari. 13th place was Alex Young, helping Takagi at the start to pull away. 14th place, Jenson Button in the Renault. Again, another poor afternoon for him. Frenton in 15th, just couldn't get going on that one stop, and he just couldn't go anywhere. Kimi Raikkonen 16th for the first Sauber. 17th, Jos Verstappen, qualified last, finishing 17th. He'd probably be pleased about that. Heidfeld finishing in 18th place, and the low Sauber, with Williams of Ralf Schumacher finishing 19th. Last classified, with Diniz doing the early retirement. Thank you for watching the Belgian Grand Prix, and goodbye.